Enhancement. Enhancement is the Nen category that allows a user to strengthen or amplify the natural properties of an object, or more commonly, their own body. It's the most direct and balanced Nen type, specializing in raw power, durability, and overwhelming force. When a person is first discovering their Nen affinity, they undergo the water divination test. Enhancers cause the water in the glass to increase in volume, reflecting their ability to expand or amplify whatever they channel their aura into. The most iconic enhancer in the series is Gon Freaks. His technique, Jajan Ken Rock, is a perfect example of pure enhancement. Gon concentrates his aura into his fist and releases it in a massive, explosive punch. There's no trick or misdirection, just unfiltered power. Another enhancer worth noting is Uvagin of the Phantom Troop. His entire combat style was built on his enhanced physical stats. Uvagin could tank bullets, crush steel, and overwhelm enemies with sheer brute strength. His aura made him a walking weapon, built for destruction. In battle, enhancers serve as frontline fighters. They're the ones who take hits and deliver knockout blows. While they may not have the versatility of manipulators or the unpredictability of specialists, they make up for it with consistency and pressure. When they hit, it counts. According to the Nen affinity chart, enhancers are most compatible with Emission and Transmutation, allowing them to occasionally cross into those styles with training. But their strength lies in keeping it simple and overpowering their opponent before things get complicated. Emission. Emission is the Nen category that allows a user to separate their aura from their body and project it over a distance. The aura retains its power even after it's released, making Emission ideal for ranged attacks, energy blasts, and area of effect techniques. In the water divination test, an Emission-type user will cause the water to change color. This reaction symbolizes their aura's ability to detach and shift state while remaining potent. The most prominent Emission user is Razor, one of the game masters in Greed Island. Razor's Nen technique allows him to throw powerful aura-imbued balls, turning simple sports like dodgeball into deadly combat. His 14th Devil's ability also lets him emit aura to create humanoid constructs capable of physical combat. Another example is Leorio, who shows signs of Emission-type Nen during the election arc. He punches the air, but his aura is emitted across the room to strike Ging in the face. A textbook Emission move, though unrefined. Emission is often seen as the best type for long-range combat. Users can launch attacks without direct contact, allowing them to keep opponents at bay while still delivering significant damage. However, Emission techniques generally lose precision the farther they travel, which means effective users must carefully manage distance versus impact. Strategically, Emission users are great for area control, team support, or ambush tactics. They can create openings for close-range allies, suppress multiple targets, or strike from cover. They're also more suited for surprise attacks compared to enhancers, who thrive in head-on fights. According to the Nen affinity chart, Emission types are naturally compatible with enhancement and manipulation, giving them room to diversify their techniques with training. Manipulation. Manipulation is the Nen category that allows a user to control living beings, objects, or even phenomena by altering their behavior with aura. The defining trait of manipulation is influence. It's not about creating or enhancing, but about bending something else to your will. In the water divination test, manipulators cause the water to move without being touched. This movement reflects their ability to control external things from a distance, without physically altering them. A classic example of a manipulator is Shalnark of the Phantom Troop. His ability, Black Voice, lets him attach antennae to a target and control them like a puppet. Once under his influence, the target moves exactly as he commands, whether they're conscious or not. Another manipulation user is Illumi Zoldyck, who implants needles in his targets to control their behavior. In some cases, he can override a person's will entirely, forcing them to fight or even self-destruct. Manipulation techniques are especially powerful in mental warfare and strategic combat. They allow users to turn enemies into allies, control objects with precision, or disrupt formations by taking over key targets. However, manipulation often requires conditions or physical contact to activate, making it more difficult to use in chaotic or fast-paced battles. While manipulation doesn't usually offer overwhelming force, it excels in control, precision, and psychological pressure. It's a category that rewards planning, positioning, and clever use of aura. According to the Nen affinity chart, manipulators are most compatible with Emission and Conjuration, allowing for unique hybrid abilities, such as remotely controlled conjured objects or puppets with projectile weapons. Transmutation. Transmutation is the Nen category that allows a user to change the properties of their aura to mimic something else. Unlike Conjuration, which creates physical objects, Transmutation alters how aura behaves while still being aura. In the water divination test, a Transmutation user will cause the water to change taste, reflecting the transformation of their aura's qualities, without changing its physical form. The most iconic transmuter is Killua Zoldyck. He modifies his aura to replicate electricity, allowing him to shock enemies, boost his speed, and paralyze targets with precision. His techniques like Thunderbolt and Godspeed combine the speed of Emission with with the elemental illusion of transmutation. Another example is Hisoka, whose bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum. Hisoka's aura behaves with elasticity, rebounding or sticking to objects unpredictably. This makes him incredibly versatile in combat, able to manipulate space, momentum, and traps with a single technique. Transmutation is ideal for creative fighters who think in terms of trickery, unpredictability, and reactive control. It allows aura to behave like fire, lightning, or even sticky substances, depending on the user's personality and combat style. Strategically, transmuters thrive in one-on-one combat, where their versatility and deception can shine. They tend to be less effective in large-scale battles unless their technique scales well or includes emission traits. According to the Nen affinity chart, transmuters are most compatible with Enhancement and Conjuration, allowing them to either strengthen their transformed aura or mix it with temporary constructs. Conjuration. Conjuration is the Nen category that allows a user to materialize physical objects out of aura. These objects are tangible, can be seen and touched by others, and typically serve a specific combat or support function defined by the user's will. In the water divination test, a conjurer will cause impurities to appear in the water, representing the materialization of something new from aura. The most well-known conjurer is Kurapika. His ability, Chain Jail, allows him to summon chains that bind enemies. Each chain has a specific function, but the most notable is the one that paralyzes spiders from the Phantom Troop. He enhances this chain's power by imposing a deadly condition. It only works on members of the troop, and if Kurapika uses it on anyone else, he dies. Another conjurer is Shizuku, also of the Phantom Troop, who creates a vacuum cleaner named Blinky. It can suck up non-living material regardless of size, making it a powerful tool for cleanup and battlefield control. Conjuration excels in versatility and specificity. Users can create weapons, tools, barriers, or even autonomous constructs. But the more complex or powerful the conjured object, the more limitations, rules, or conditions are often required to stabilize it. Because conjured objects are real, they don't rely on deception like transmutation or projection like emission. They remain effective even after leaving the user's body, making them valuable for traps, support techniques, and specialized attacks. According to the Nen affinity chart, conjurers are most compatible with manipulation and transmutation, allowing them to build hybrid tools that behave in complex or programmable ways. Specialization. Specialization is the rarest and most unpredictable Nen category. It includes any ability that doesn't fit into the other 5 types, making specialists completely unique in how their aura functions. Their abilities often break the normal rules of Nen. In the water divination test, a specialist causes a completely unique reaction, something that doesn't match any of the standard categories and different from person to person. This anomaly reflects their inherently irregular nature. One of the most iconic specialists is Krallo Lucifer, the leader of the Phantom Troop. His ability, Skill Hunter, lets him steal other Nen users' abilities and store them in a conjured book. As long as he fulfills specific conditions, he can use these abilities as his own. This makes Krallo highly unpredictable and incredibly dangerous. Another example is Neon Nostrade, who could predict people's future using her lovely Ghostwriter ability. Her Nen had nothing to do with combat. It was a fortune-telling ability that worked under strict conditions like needing a full name and birthday. No other Nen category could replicate this kind of technique. Kurapika also becomes a temporary specialist when his eyes turn scarlet, which shifts his Nen type and allows him to use Emperor Time. While active, Emperor Time grants him access to 100% efficiency in all Nen categories, giving him unparalleled versatility at the cost of significant strain on his life. Specialists tend to have extremely powerful but highly specific abilities, often with heavy restrictions or unusual activation conditions. Their techniques are difficult to predict, analyze, or counter. From a strategic standpoint, Specialization introduces wildcard abilities into Nen battles, skills that defy classification and force opponents to adapt on the fly. That makes specialists some of the most feared and respected Nen users in the series. If you like the content, comment your favorite anime, like, and subscribe.